welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today is the monthly wrap-up time. Yippee! I read books this month. It's becoming final season, so we're crunching down. We're crunching down on projects, studying for exams. It's insane. But before that, it was like fluff. It was just like fluff, and it was just a nice time. I felt like I didn't have to do any work, and then Thanksgiving break, and it was all like going together, and then after Thanksgiving, boom, you're hit with the bomb. So I don't know how much reading I'm gonna get done in the first 2 weeks of December, so yeah. It's not coffee time because I'm I'm gonna get a coffee later on in the day, so I'm gonna wait for that. So we're gonna be making a different drink so I can sip on it through my rambling of my wrap up. I got a new anthropology cup. I told you I bought, okay, all right. Got the bee one, and then I have the rainbow one. So I think I'm gonna use the rainbow one today. And we're making strawberry lemonade with sparkling water. That's my favorite. So first, get ice. First, you're gonna start out with, this is flavored sparkling water. This is the strawberry mango sparkling water from Target. They do like half. And then I add lemonade. And then I add, this is Ocean Spray white cranberry strawberry juice. I've actually never tried this with my drink. I'm going to be adding true lemon. It's like the true lime, but it's lemon. Oh my God, this is my new obsession. We're gonna sip on that, and then we're gonna go to wrap up time. Come back to where I was before. In the month of November, I read 11 books. I'm reading a book right now, and I could finish it before the end of November, so if that is, it's 12 books. I'll let you guys know. Look at my Goodreads if it really matters to you. And the first book I read, in the beginning of the month, I started out with reading for a video. I was reading my favorite booktubers 5-star reads, so check out that video if you want to. The first book I actually finished in November was The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. This is the prequel to Throne of Glass. It's the prequel book, but you can read it. The reading order when to read this prequel book is highly debated. You either read it third, you read it fourth, or you read it first. So I read it first because I was following Destiny Sidwell's reading order. So I read this one first, and then I'm gonna read the rest of the series. Okay, I gave Assassin's Blade 4 stars, and I really liked all the novellas. And spoiler, I'm reading Throne of Glass right now, and I actually do like knowing what happened in these like novellas, and like knowing what they're hinting at during like Throne of Glass. So I'm like, oh my God, I read that. I know what that happens. I know what happens like in that story, so I know like how it ends and stuff like that. So I really like actually having the novellas like known and the prequel like already established in my head. The writing in this like these novellas was like very, it's third person. Selena's such a character that you like, even though we're in third person, we actually like understand her thought process a lot more, because she like, I don't know, like it's just the way of the writing, but like it's not like first person so that you like physically know everything, but like third person, and like it's a descriptive third person, that's the word. I actually really liked this. I gave it 4 stars. I already said that, but reiterating the fact that I actually liked it, and I'm continuing on with the series, so there's that. Next, I read King of Greed by Anna Huang. Oh my God, I needed a palate cleanser between The Assassin's Blade and my next read that I had to read for the video, so I just needed a quick little romance, because I finished this while I was not at home, so I couldn't pick up the next book. And I also just like couldn't mentally, like physically and emotionally handle the next book that I was gonna read after this. So I read a fun little rom-com. King of Greed is the third in like Anna Huang's like King of Sin series. We follow Alessandria and Dominic, and this is a like second chance, but not really second chance romance. But it's like they're married, and their marriage has fizzled out. And so they're like not communicating well, and then Alessandra wants a divorce from him. They met in college, and she was his tutor. He was like very poor, I think, and then he like grew his company up, and he's like really rich now, because all of the men in Anna Huang's books are really rich. So he's really rich now, and he's like neglecting Alessandria. So she was like, I want a divorce. So they get that, and then Dominic's like, no, I do not want a divorce. And then he grovels a lot. It's a grovelly book. I don't think like I connected to the characters too much, and I don't like this, like the storyline was okay, but I think out of the Anna Huang books of this series, the King of Sin series, I liked King of Wrath the best. So that was the first book with Vivian and Dante. I liked them as characters the best, so I like their book the best. I don't know, but overall the series is pretty mid. I think I gave the King of Wrath book 4 stars, and then I gave the second one 3.5 or 3.25, and I gave King of Greed 3.25 stars. Very middle of the line road. It's just like a rom-com. I'm not gonna think about it. I truly forgot about their names. Okay, next I read Daisy Hates the Great Undoing. Yeah! I will forever be invested in this world. I love Daisy's POV, but I think Daisy's POV is one of my favorite POVs to ever be in. I just love her thought processes, and I love her head. I just love her as a character so much, and I don't know, I just love like feeling what she feels. She spills her guts out, and then Julian in this book, he spilled his guts out too. So yeah, I feel like we got such a different side of Julian in this book. It's just so good. I read the first 2 books in the series of Magnolia Parks, so Magnolia Parks 1 and Daisy Hates 1, back in May, and then I read I could not emotionally handle the next Magnolia Parks book, so I waited 5 months to read that, and I read that in October, and then I was like, every time I get back into that world, I need something, so I was in a rut until I read this one, and here she is in all her glory. Look how beautiful. Oh, didn't tell you, these are 5 stars. I think I've given every single Magnolia Parks book a 5-star, even if like I didn't even like think of it was a 5-star in the moment, because the first Daisy Hates one I gave it a 4.5, and then I changed it to 5 stars because I could not stop thinking about Christian and Daisy, because I love Christian and Daisy so much. Oh my god, and I could just go on and on about this book series. It's insane to me that I just will not shut up about them. So yeah, I'm gonna do that now. So next I read Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. Love Redesigned is set in the same like town, Lake Wisteria, of Final Offer, and so we get like snippets of Cal and Alana in that book. It's like marketed as like rivals to lovers. Julian and Dahlia, the 2 main characters. Julian and Dahlia, their mothers are best friends, so like they've been like around each other since like they were born basically, and they have like this like subtle rivalry. It's not like a big rivalry, and yeah. Julian is the acts of service king. He is like a contractor, I think, or he does something with real estate, houses, tearing stuff down, renovating. He does that. And Dahlia is this famous interior designer, so she does like an HGTV show, and she did it with I think her boyfriend or fiance, and then they split up, and so she came back to Lake Wisteria. It follows Dahlia's like aftermath of her relationship, of her last relationship, and Julian's like obsessed with her. He's loved her since like for so long, and he's like such an acts of service guy, so that's how he shows his love. One thing I didn't really like about the book was that there was like virtually no conflict, and it was just like focused on Dahlia like trusting herself and wanting to be with Julian, and so like that was it. There was also no drama, and so that like led the book to be a little flat for me, especially because it was so long. With no drama, what am I supposed to grasp onto? So yeah, and that's why I gave it a 4. I had a fun time. I liked Julian and Dahlia, but I just didn't like how the story was a little slow to me because there was no like plot pushing it forward. Next I read Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. This is the 2nd book in Fourth Wing, and Fourth Wing went absolutely crazy in May-June of this year. So yeah, it was like the book. It was the romance fantasy book. And I actually really liked Fourth Wing. I think I gave Fourth Wing a 4.5, 4.75, 4.5. I just liked, it was like really, it's new adult fantasy, so it's really easy to like get into, you know, it's just easy to understand, and I don't think the world building was crazy. And so basically Violet is in like the dragon riding quadrant of like university basically. These dragons like bond with humans, and then you get it. So that was Fourth Wing. This is like nothing. Like there was a cliffhanger at Fourth Wing, and so I was so excited to like understand why we're like what we're doing with that cliffhanger. Nothing happened with that cliffhanger. Literally nothing happened with that cliffhanger. Like you would expect like that cliffhanger to like be so pivotal to the story. That cliffhanger, nothing really happened in the story with that. It was very boring, and there was 600 pages of nothingness. But I think Xaden was a good character. I think he like really saved the book. I just didn't care. I just did not care. And for 600 pages, I should have cared more, especially because I liked the first book so much. So I gave this one 3.25. There were some aspects, I really love the dragons in these books, so there's that. And I like reading about the dragons, so that's good. Next, I read Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood, and those three books, Love Redesign, Iron Flame, and Check and Mate, constituted another video, another reading vlog video where I read new releases. But let me tell you about Check and Mate, guys. Let me tell you about Check and Mate. I love this book. This is Ali Hazelwood's YA romance, but this follows Mallory, and she loved chess when she was little. She loved chess, and her like dad introduced her to chess because her dad was like a grandmaster, I think. And something happens with that, but like whatever. So it's basically just Mallory, her mom, who is sick, and then her two younger sisters. And so Mallory is like the kind of like the provider of the household because her mom's sick. She goes to a chess match and she plays a chess match, and it's against the #1 ranked chess player, Nolan Sawyer. He's 20 and she's 18, and she beats him, and so everyone's like, who the heck is this girl? And then she gets offered a position as like someone sponsors her to learn and play chess at like an internship basically, and so that's how she's getting money to support her family. I loved this book so much. I think the chess was so good. I'm not crazy about chess. I don't really, like, I suck at it. But I love the Queen's Gambit, and so this like gave me such Queen Gambit vibes. I don't know, like Mallory, she says what she wants to say, and I love that about her. And Nolan Sawyer, honestly, the romance in this book is very subtle. It mostly focuses on like Mallory's journey through chess and her learning to love it again. Mallory and Nolan is so cute. He is so obsessed with her. It's so good. So if you ever want to read this, read it. I highly recommend it, and I love it so much. But I love it. I gave this a 4.75. 4.75. It's not 5 automatically because I think the romance was a little too subtle, but I love the subtleness that I got in here. The parts that I did get, I'm changing my rating. 4.75. I mean, yeah, 4.75. It was a 4.5 somewhere else. It's a 4.75 because I cannot stop thinking about Nolan Sawyer's. Next, I read The Ballad of Snakes and Songbirds by Suzanne Collins. I read this because I knew I was gonna go watch the movie. I do recommend reading the book and seeing the movie at this together, because I think if I didn't read the book before the movie, I just like wouldn't know about like Lucy Gray and Snow's like connection. But also watching the movie, if I like read the book again, the interactions and how they acted to each other were like highlighted because I watched the movie. I think it would have been a little bit better, but honestly, I liked the book. It was very mid to me. I gave it 3 stars because I wasn't expecting to be in Snow's POV like the whole time, and he's just a yapster. He is a yapster. He does not stop talking. But I think the movie did such like a good job, because in the movie it felt like 3 different types of movie, because there's like, it's broken up to 3 like sections, and because of that the book felt so long in those sections. And I also felt like the Hunger Games aspect of watching like Lucy Gray, the 10th games, was very like minimal in the book, and you just like got like it's like the Hunger Games like simulator. It's like, oh, blah blah blah, this happened and then that happened. But in the movie it was like so visually like a part of the film that it was just way better. So I'm comparing them a lot, but I did like the book, and I think I will read the other Hunger Games books. I think I read the first one, and I don't think I read the other ones. I read the first one like elementary school, middle school, so that doesn't count. I think I will read them at some point, because I'm just like in such a hyperfixation mode. Like, one thing about me is I cannot be normal about anything. I watched hours of cast interviews, and that's when I know I'm into it. Like when I was back in my Marvel phase earlier this year, when I was showing all the Marvel movies to my roommate, I was like watching my favorite interview clips of Sebastian Stan, Anthony Mackie, Chris Evans, Tom Holland. I cannot be normal about a single thing. It's actually concerning. I liked the book and I liked the movie, but I liked the movie better than the book. So next I read, this is for roommate / best friend chooses my reads for the week. I read The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. I actually really liked it. It's more of like, it's a magical realism book. The time travel stuff in this book made my head hurt. It like hurts to think about it, and like I can't really think about it too much, or else I'm like, how does that not contradict that? This follows June Farrow, and the women of the Farrow family are like crazy to this town. So June starts seeing stuff, and like she's like, oh, what the heck? And then it follows on from that, and it follows like the time travel aspect, and that's all I can really say. I went more in depth on this in my other video, but yeah. And it follows like a kind of mystery. I gave it a 3.75. It was just because like it was good, but like it wasn't crazy good, so it would have been a 4. But then the time travel aspect like messed up my head a lot, so I had to dock it down. So next I read Shark Heart by Emily Hebeck, which I gave this one 4.25 stars. I actually really like this. One of my Goodreads friends loves this book, so once I saw that they gave him a 5 stars, so I was like, okay, this is on my radar now. This book, crazy concept. But all you have to really know is that in this universe, this is also magical realism. In this universe, people can get mutations, like hereditary mutations, where they turn into different animals. In this story, we follow Ren and Lewis, who are newlyweds, and Lewis getting this mutation of turning into a great white shark, hence Shark Heart. And so this book is broken up into 3 different parts. It talks about Ren mostly, and then like sprinkles of Lewis in the first part of the book, and then the second part I think was very long, and it kind of like took away from Ren and Lewis's like story with Ren's mom, and it was like good to like know about it and like see how like that shaped Ren into who she is, but I think it was very focused on the mom for a lot of the time, and then it talked about how Ren grew up, and so I think that like that docked it down. And then the third part was a little rushed, and then the epilogue was a little short too, so that's why it like all together I love the story and I like cried multiple times. But I think if some parts were taken out and some parts were more elaborated on, I would have liked it more, so that's why it's a 4.25. Other than that, I really like it, and I do recommend this book, and I hope everyone reads it because it's so good, but like so crazy at the same time. Like I just do not know how to like tell you how crazy it was to like figure this out, because I went into this blind and I was like, okay, and it was just insane. So yeah. Next I read Blue Lily Lily Blue. This is the 3rd book by Maggie Stavoster. I don't know if I'm saying that right, and I'm so sorry if I'm not, but this is the 3rd book in the Raven cycle. This book is like, the Raven cycle itself is very popular, and I started it last month, I think. Started it a couple months ago, and then I stopped because I think, while I'm saying like the second book like took longer for me to read, but it was a good book at the same time, I gave that one 3.5 stars. And for Blue Lily Lily Blue, I was very nervous because like second book was just like a little slower, so I was like worried about getting into this one, but I do want to finish the series. So I read Blue Lily Lily Blue, and I gave it 3.75 stars. I gave the first book 4 stars, and so this is like, it's not my favorite out of the series. The 3rd book, Blue and the boys, so Gangsley, Adam, Noah, and Ronan, their like dynamic is so much more like in tune, and they're like such a family. I think the familial aspect of the book was very highlighted in this book, so I liked that about it. But I think this is like with all like the other Raven Cycles books, there's one set like quest that we have to like find these answers to, and I think it's gonna take all 4 books because it's taken all 3 books right now. We still haven't gotten the answer, so I'm assuming it takes all 4 books. But like there's like a little like sub quest in each book, and you find it out in the beginning, and then the middle is very dragged on, and it's just like we could have done more because it's basically just like dialogue and talking and like honestly sometimes unnecessary scenes. And then the last like chunk of the book, like 60 pages, stuff keeps going down. Like I do not get a second to breathe when I read these books, and I have to reread because I'm just like, huh, what happened? Like when did this get into this? But like middle parts are important for the end. So yeah, I just wish it was like better paced out. So like sometimes like I'm very like indifferent to it. I'm like in the middle, I'm just like, I'm waiting to read the book, but then the end is like really good. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of like the pacing's a little off, so I like the series. I'm not like obsessed with the series though. Last but not least, the last book I'm gonna be talking about is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I read Powerless already. I read it earlier this year, but I just like, I think like I just wasn't in the mood to read it, and I just read it to finish it. But I know a lot of people love this book, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a second try because I didn't really get it. I think I gave it 3 stars the first time I read it, and upon reread I've given it a 4.25 stars. I really like it, and I think Peyton and Kai, so much better in this book, so much better. I think I don't know, like I don't know what I was thinking when I first read it, but like Peyton, like I just didn't like connect to Peyton. Like I don't really connect to Peyton at all, but like I didn't like really like Peyton the first time I read it, but now I love Peyton. And at first I really only liked, the only redeeming quality of the book when I first read it was the brothers, which are Kit and Kai, and they reminded me so much of Kel and his brother in A Darker Shade of Magic. I love that brother like bond, and I love them as they like, all 3 of them connected really well, Peyton, Kai, and Kit. So I like all of them, but I think like the banter between Kai and Peyton was so much better. Like I don't know what I was thinking when I first read it. I just don't understand, but like the banter is good. Like it's good. I really like it. 4.25 stars. I'm not obsessed because like some parts were a little slow. Like some of like the like tests that she has to do were a little slow, but whatever. Peyton is a powerless girl, and in this like kingdom area, the king has setting these like people that don't have powers into like death basically, because he wants the kingdom to be like very powerful and like all the citizens to have like some sort of power. And so Peyton is a powerless girl, but she's acting as a psychic because that's a mundane power, and she gets thrown in the purging trials because she saves Kai, and like everyone's like, oh, who's that girl? So she gets thrown into that, and yeah, we just followed the purging trials and Kai and Peyton. Love them. And right now it's the 29th, and I'm 160 pages into Throne of Glass. I've started reading after I read Assassin's Blade the beginning of the month. I'm actually really enjoying it. I don't know if I am gonna finish it before November's over, but if I do, count that as the 12th book, and if I don't, I only read 11 books this month. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys had a great time watching my monthly wrap-up. I've got no expectations, nothing in this head of what I kind of like want to read. I don't think I'm like a seasonal Christmas romance, holiday romance type of girl, so the chance of them being on my next wrap-up is very slim. But yeah, here's the stack along with some Kindle books that I read. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys had a great time hearing my thoughts on the books I read this month and me just rambling basically. So I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. I don't know why I clapped. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.